tell us your name and what you worked on?
I didn't know it would be first when I sat over here. Hi, I'm Nicole, and I'm one of the showrunners, writers, and actors for Dead Enders, the zombie one.
Very cool.
Hi, I'm Liz. I'm the writer, actor, and producer of Fence Sitter.
So I'm Savas. I wrote and directed My Dad's Diner.
Harrison Marx directed and helped write This Is Awkward.
Shadon Majidi, co-producer, writer, It Is This.
I'm B. I starred in Let My Grandpa Into Heaven.
She's Lucas.
My name is Jay Van Bavel. I'm the producer of Power Bus.
Very cool. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for all of your work. If you can kind of start with you, tell us a little about the inspiration behind the film. I think you have a book out first.
Yeah. So I'm a psychology professor at New York University, and I study intergroup relations and conflict and how you can bring people together to cooperate. And so I wrote a book, a trade book, with my friend and co-author Dominic Packer called The Power of Us. It came out a couple of years ago, and then we got a grant to put together a conference of people, from around the world and around the country who are trying to figure out what we can do to protect and defend democracy against the various threats in all walks of life. And so we brought all these people together at a conference at Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore. And we hired a film producer, Richard Sergey, who used to work for Ted Koppel on Nightly News, and he helped us put together a documentary to try to get the message out about kind of the threats that we're facing as a society, and then what some people are doing that might be beneficial and helpful, so that we can start moving the conversation away from just we're having all these challenges, but what can we do to kind of try to make a dent in some of them.
Very cool.
I obviously don't know exactly what
Prompted the...
Yeah. I think it was reflecting Lana's relationship with her grandfather. And obviously, her grandpa didn't go to the in-between spaces and meet vampires and stuff. Exactly. But, yeah.
So the writer had a personal experience.
Yeah.
How did you get involved?
I was casted. A previous filmmaker recommended me, and then she thought, this kid can act.
The inspiration behind the film was Kashmir. It's a little-known region, which is the world's most militarized zone on the planet. It is an occupied region, and Reza Ali, who I met on an app called Clubhouse, had an incredible story. The youth of that region of Kashmir are suffering from intense bouts with mental health, and this is not a secret because we're actually making a film about this. 6 months ago, the director of this film attempted suicide, and what he finds through his mental health struggles is nature and his love for snowboarding, and he got GoPro India to support the film, and he went out and shot this film about 2 months ago.
The inspiration for This Is Awkward, I usually make films with my buddy Essen, who's not here. He's doing a show in Florida. We do everything together. He's like my work wife. And we hadn't...
Jerry to your Tom.
He is very much, he's Tom, I'm definitely Jerry. We hadn't made a film in a little while, and we've always been inspired by, we studied theater as actors, and we've always been inspired by Chekhov, the kitchen plays. A lot of what we do is usually one place, one scene, shoot it in a day, well, a day meaning 18 hours, but, we wanted to make something a little lighter and a little more fun. Usually what we do is a little more dramatic, and I like to have more fun than he does. And yeah, he came to me with it, and he's like, it's a comedy, and I'm like, no, it's not. We figured out a way to make it a little light, but a little dramatic, and both put our touches on it.
I think for me it was twofold. I think we can all relate in this business about our parents telling us their brilliant ideas that they have that are better than ours, in their opinions. But for years, my dad would tell me stories growing up in Astoria, Queens, and the Greek diners. And then it was, of late where we see all these diners closing, especially these Greek diners around America and in Astoria. It made me think about how so many iconic scenes in movies are shot in these diners. And they never talk about the people who ran these diners and started them. So for me, it was wanting to tell a piece of that culture that we're losing, and also to pay homage to my father, who the story's about. So yeah, that was my inspiration.
The inspiration for Fence Sitter was I got married, I turned 30, and naturally everyone started asking when I was going to have kids. And I didn't know if I wanted kids. And I also didn't know many people who were on the fence like me. There's a lot of media about parenthood and people trying to have babies. And then there's also a lot of narratives of people who want to be child-free and never want to have kids. And not a whole lot that exists in the in-between of the biggest decision you can make in your life. And so I wanted to make a film about that.
Relatable. So my fellow collaborator and I, Anna, Stacy, they played Harper. We've worked together and lived together for many years, best friends since college, and during the pandemic we were really bored and creatively unfulfilled. So we wanted to, the show Dead Enders, the episode we saw is episode 3 in our second season. Our first season was just entirely filmed over Zoom. Again, we were really, really bored and we wanted to collaborate with our fellow actors and just creative friends who were experiencing like job loss and whatnot, especially during the beginning of the pandemic when shows were closed and everything's canceled. And we just got really invested in telling these stories about these group of misfits finding human connection during an apocalypse. And we were like, what if we made a season 2? And then we did. Yeah.
And so for you, we work a lot with youth from grades 3 through college, and a lot of them are interested in film careers. What piece of advice would you give them?
Oh my gosh.
Or even if it's not just making a film.
Sure.
Where do you start? How do you start? What's your best advice?
I think my best advice is, so for context, this is, I guess, would be my first film. And we really didn't have any idea, this is gonna be rude, no idea what we were doing.
I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, and honestly, the best advice I can give is just surround yourself with people that you're excited to collaborate with. We didn't, I'm not a cinematographer. I don't know a thing about lights and sound or literally anything. And it was so exciting. I didn't go to a film school or anything. And it was so exciting to meet all of these people that some of them we found literally just on Facebook, who were just just graduated filmmakers or filmmakers who had just done a bunch of cool stuff, but mostly just student stuff. And we were just we want to listen to you. We want to work with you. And we were very honest, this is our first film and we don't know what we're doing, but we like what you do and we trust you, and let's try to make something cool together. So yeah, just surrounding yourself by people who you're genuinely excited to collaborate with.
Good. So that's perfect.
I think I have a similar answer. I would say just have fun, make it fun. It's a hard life, and if you're not having fun, there's no point. So yeah, make stuff with your friends. If you see someone whose work you really admire, meet them, ask them to collaborate with you. Just make it fun.